This is conforming to the MQA requirements. Yeah? MQA requirement. So because it's from there, we are going to calculate your cumulative grade point average. And this is very important because Victoria University is having an American-based grading scales. American-based, yes, uh, grading scales. That is 80 to 100, A. 70 to 79, you get a B. 60 to 69, you get a C. 50 to 59, you get a B. And then 0 to 40, B9, you get an F. See that? So we are going to calculate, and and actually, dia masuk. Dia termasuk dia petang ni, tapi dia saya ambil lagi. So just now I mentioned about it's important for students to understand the structure, right? So that you can actually strategize. We would not want you to just work hard, but also you need to work smart. That is the 7 subjects which will take you around almost 10 months. 10 months will contribute to 28 credits out of 80. So the major portion of the credits are actually coming from the research foundation and methodology, and also the dissertation workshop. Yeah. In the case of the 7 core subjects that you can glance through, it is important for you to understand the rationales behind, because as we know that all of you are coming from different management background. Some are from the strategic aspect, some are actually from the marketing, human resource, or entrepreneurship, or even the IT background. So the 7 subjects are meant to expose you to a full spectrum of the possible research areas, which I'm going to show you a list of supervisors available, yeah? And also the profile of the lecturers that we have in mind. So that once you have a full exposure of the spectrum of the 7 subjects, you will have some idea of what or where you would like to specialize in. Okay? And then with that in mind, you can start thinking of a topic already, such as a banking finance issue, or marketing issue, or HRM issues, or international business issue. Yeah? More or less you have some idea. So we are going to help you to develop your research skills. What research is all about, how to learn research, and what are the essential research skills, and how to go about in sourcing resources, and the ethical aspects of carrying out research. Research means you have to refer to some of the existing work, or some of the happening and events and all that, which may be affecting the future trend, yeah, in the market or the culture in the organization. But having said that, because of the accessibility of the e-resources, there are increasing percentage of the students who have the tendency of duplicating quite directly without knowing what should not be done. You are allowed to copy, but you must be able to copy in a very smart way. That is to code the sources of reference or reference source with a different style of doing that. And also, we will be introducing you some of the software where you can also help in doing your scanning of the text to ensure that your so-called level of plagiarism will not be more than 20%. So it's good to do that. Yeah. So these would be the areas of what we call research, and in general, you'll be covering two portions: qualitative and quantitative. Yeah, all the skills related to research, and even how to go about in using case to perform your research. And also there will be quantitative. Part two of the research will be covering quantitative, meaning to say you learn SPSS, you learn PLS, which is known as partially square. The workshop in May will be focusing on that. It's a very modern statistical instrument for you to actually compute the correlation between X and Y. In high school, you learn about X and Y. X are the independent variables. Y will be your dependent variable. Sometimes you may have two layers, the list of X with Y, and then Y itself will go into Z. So there'll be two layers of correlation. So there's a software, we call it as under this structural equation modeling, SEM, structural equation modeling, which will be taught in May. Yeah? So will help you to actually put in data. And based on the data that you have gathered from a questionnaire, you can just plug into the formula, and the software will help you to crunch, to calculate the level of dependency between independent and dependent variables. So in general, if it is more than 50% or exceeding 0.5, meaning to say the causal relationship, causal is starting from the word of cause, causal, starting from here, a causal relationship. In the layman term, we call it as a cause and effect. When you do something, you expect an outcome. So most of the researchers are normally reminded. And when you carry a research, especially at the level of BBA, which I'm going to highlight, there's a slight difference between BBA and the PhD. So at the BBA level, you'll be engaged as a professional or a so-called consultant in analyzing business organizations' performance and monitoring the performance. So in order to ensure the performance are enhanced, you need to identify the hindrances or the root causes. So all the hindrances and root causes are under here. Yeah, many variables, such as in the HR case. Now we talk about factors to ensure staff retention. Because when the staff are able to stay for long, there's a continuity, number one. And number two, they are able to contribute their past experience to the company. And in the long run, as in Japanese companies, staff who can stay on long to perform, they are considered as asset. Because you compare a new staff and an old staff who is very hands-on, you don't have to waste time to teach. You know how to move the result into the company. Okay, so to ensure staff retention, there are various factors involved. It could be in the form of salary, right? One of the factors. Number two, it can be in form of the work, in the form of work. The work itself. I'm staying in the company because I like the work itself, nature of the work. Let's say you prefer to work under aircon condition, you prefer to use computer. 90% of your time are spent on using those technology. So you like the work. No doubt salary is important, but you like the work. That's why you prefer to stay on. Rather than you may look at, say, marketing position, which you are able to have higher income, but you have to be on the move all the time, which some individual may not be able to shoot it. Yeah. Number three, it can be in the form of the what other aspect? Factors related to staff retention.
The culture.
Yeah. The culture. Yeah, maybe the culture. What culture? Your what you call relationship with the colleagues or peers. Yeah. Peer relationship or peer relationship and so on. And what else? Some may be even looking into the working hours. Flexi, for example, working hours. You know, in America, a lot of married women, once they are being perceived as an asset to a company, when they have a family, whereby they need to balance their family life and also work. So some bosses who perceive this individual as an asset will allow her to actually work from home using computer. We call it as telecommuting. We have the flexibility. Maybe once a week you come in to attend meeting. Most of the time you can get the routine work done from home. So working hours, flexible. Right? So since the boss is so flexible, I would rather stay on than changing job, which they can pay you double the salary, but you have to be on the move and following the office hour, which you can't. You have to think of your family, you have to think of the traveling time and the distance. And what else?
Look at the networks that you're able to link up with somebody else.
Yeah, network and so on. Many. All these are not exhaustive. It's a partial list. So what we are going to look at will be, these are the contributing factors for staff to stay. So this will be your one. Stability, we call it as a stability. Once you have the stability, you have the CZAC, this will be high level of staff retention. When it's stable means they don't simply leave the company. So you have the Z here. So it's a two-layer causal relationship. Yeah? All because it's a cause and effect. You have to make sure that most of the staff are well taken care of in this. That will contribute to the stability of the staff force. When they are stabilized, then you see the staff retention or even performance. When the staff stay on long, they'll be more loyal to the company. So that is how the research can actually be planned. This is what we call theoretical framework. We need you to learn the theoretical framework. Yeah? And you need a combination of both the qualitative and the quantitative experts to guide you through. Okay? So once you have learned the research skills in terms of the quantitative and the qualitative, you'll be moving on into the dissertation. In fact, at this stage, you'll be exposed to the structure of the thesis, altogether 8 chapters, and then we look into the components of various chapters. It's just like building house. You need to lay the foundation and then raise a pillar, and then starting with the putting up the wall on using bricks and so on. And next will be on the painting, next will be on the renovation. So phase by phase, building up the structure of your thesis. And also the important aspect of this dissertation workshop will be our students are encouraged to learn through our peer interaction, number one. And number two, we need students to also participate in terms of the peer reviews. At the doctorate level, peer reviews are very important because the supervisor may not be the best person because of the age, generation gap. Especially on the IB side, we are not so up to date as most of you who are younger. And in a class, especially here, the advantage is when you have a chance this Saturday and Sunday, you are going to see the composition of the class of this DBA. We have students coming from Russia. We have students coming from Libya. We have students coming from even India, many countries. So we need the cross-cultural sharing. And then some of them, they are engineers, some of them, they are accountants, some of them, they are lawyers. So we need the cross-functional input so that you'll be more holistic. When you do when you carry out any analysis, you'll be more holistic. So we need the combination. And also the supervisor or lecturer will actually share with you because of their past experience. So it's an incorporation of the holistic branch of knowledge altogether. So with the dissertation workshop, some of you may even extend to plan for your publications, which is not mandatory, but you'll be of your to your advantage. If you can get your paper published, we do have the provision for that. Because when you have some paper published, when you are reaching the final stage, because there's a viva oral defense, viva oral defense. So meaning to say, you'll be given half an hour to come and do a presentation on your work in 10 to 15 slides only. Okay, a quick snapshot of what you've done from the 220 pages, and you'll be also given a chance to listen to the questions to be posted by the examiners. There'll be 3 examiners involved, yeah, and from there you need to answer to defend. Of course, the main aim is to check whether it is your work or not. If you come into the class and presented the whole process of research is so smooth running without any obstacles, without any hindrances, it is untrue. Because just like in real life, you can't have your work carry out 100% according to your plan. There used to be a lot of obstacles somewhere. So what we like to hear will be the irregular aspect. What are the unforeseen obstacles that you have faced? Yeah. And once after the viva oral defense, normally there will be actually 3 outcomes. First will be a direct rejection. If you are proven the thesis is not done by yourself, you may be failed directly. Okay, asking a lot of questions, you cannot even find evidence. You can't even answer a single question. The chances is, I think, 0.001. You've never seen it. The second option is to have a straight pass. You can walk away with almost your BBA in hand already. Also, I think maybe 3%. 3% if you are lucky. And the majority, I would say 90% belong to the third category, whereby on conditional pass, provided you make the following amendments, including the title, including updating of your literature, yeah, including sorting out of your data. I would say 95% of the students are normally falling into that. Then you can take a deep breath. You are given a month to do your amendment. Okay, and once you've done, you'll be given a report. You need to come back and see your supervisor, because he will be the person responsible to check, are you following the examiner's guidelines, and make your amendment accordingly. That's very important. Okay, so question before we move on.
Yeah, I see that it's all in 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's possible you can complete in 2 years.
If you are disciplined, if you follow instruction and get your work done, not missing classes, and of course paying full attention. There are students who can make it in 2 years. Yeah.
Now the 7 courses, you say in 8 months?
In 10 months. 10 months.
In 10 months, I was told that we have a weekend lecture in every 2 months. So
yes, that is a main lecture, but in between, it doesn't mean that you cannot proceed with your learning, because we will have the subject lecturers contact. You can always request for consultation and continue your discussion with him. The same person will take you through the whole process of learning for the subject.
No, my question is that what it means that the information I have that we have, for instance, I mean, every 2 months we have 1 course cannot work, but otherwise it's supposed to be 14.
Because you know why? You need to carry out a lot of research, which I'm going to show you shortly. There's a lot of research work done, and in between you are supposed to communicate with the lecturer, either using Skype or using email or having appointment supervision.
I think my question is not clear then. What I'm saying is that what would be the time interval for every module?
So you have the.
Okay, you'll be actually taught. I believe just now the program administrator we have shared with you. We have a learning portal.
Yes.
We have a learning portal. In the portal itself, you can actually retrieve the teaching materials in the PowerPoint slide, and also some articles or the journals or whatever. And also you'll be given a work-based assignment of 4,005 words. So we have to actually guide you through on the format of writing. That is the assessment whereby you need to do a lot of reading by citing from journal, which I'm going to take you through shortly. Okay, so we have at least 3 resources, whereby there are at least 200 over 1,000 e-journals for you to read. So you have a lot of work done. That's why in between you have doubt, you can always contact the lecturer, either by email or Skype or by consultation to set appointment. Because at the doctorate level, we cannot keep on teaching you, but we will throw you a checklist of what to do. So in the process of going through, you have problem, you come back to us. So you'll be very much customized in that aspect. And then in addition to that, there's also a case assessment of 50%. So how to deal with case or cases. So that will be taught. They'll be taught. There are various steps that you need to follow. So also involving some research. And some students were wondering about how come the 50% case assessment is not done in the closed book manner or a proctored manner. Because we realize that all of you are senior managers. You will not want to be seen by a high school student taking exam anymore. Yeah? And therefore, we respect that, what they call privacy. But again, it doesn't mean that you have a 1 week self-directed or home exam is going to be easier. No, because most of these cases are real case. Besides what you have received, you can also check from Google. You have a more in-depth case as related to the same title, where you can actually refer and then cite it as a reference to strengthen your answering of that assessment. So there's a lot of research work done. So normally the student will find it more difficult in the first and the second module because of the culture of learning. Yeah. So that's why we need to spend a bit more time to guide you then.
So effectively, this one we do the economic management this weekend, and then the next, I don't know which one is the next one.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So the lecturer will set an email. You can even go on the online forum and all that, whatever, communicate with the lecturer, or if there's a need, we will set appointment by consultation. So you must have certain purpose after that. We won't repeat the same process of teaching because we don't want you all to feel that you're like high school where you're over-taught. Because there are a lot of things you need to actually research and then communicate with the lecturer. You'll be more on the personalized kind of interaction. Yeah. That is unlimited. The more questions you ask, the more we're going to answer back to you. Yeah. So as I said, the 7 subjects will be for you to gain access to the knowledge of management, and also for you to pick on the topic that you may like to specialize in. Let me take you through a lot of e-resources here. And don't forget, the second year, you will have at least 5 sessions to meet your supervisor, either the main supervisor or the, what they call the subject supervisor, such as if you are selecting finance and banking. I'll be the main actually normally to look at the overall structure of your research. But some of you may have decided to pick on banking finance, which I'm not the expert. So we have the next lecture to check with you on the knowledge of finance and banking. And then there'll be 1 or 2 more quantitative method lecture. We'll check on your statistical part. That is where most students will need help. How to run so-called SPSS. Some of you may need help on how to use the AMOS, means analysis of moment structure. That is how we utilize the data, so variance and mean by using certain computer software. Okay, and that is linked to either what we call PLS, partially square, and path analysis. Those are these is the example of path analysis, because we need to look at the pathway of zooming into the dependent variable, and we need to actually determine the factor. We call it a factor analysis, whether this complex alpha factor, whether it's more than 50% or not. If it's more than 50% means if there's a direct correlation. If it's less than 50% means it's insignificant, so you can reject it. Because each of these correlation will be linked to a hypothesis. That's how you generate your hypothesis of 1 to 5 or even more. As I told you earlier on, the independent variables here are not exhaustive. There will be more in the Asian environment. We have not even incorporated the superior and subordinate relationship. This is important. So you can actually add on and test it out. We don't assume it's right or wrong, we just test it out. And that could be coming from learning, because we actually came across an HR consultant from American University 15 years ago. She came to Malaysia to carry out a research, and she realized that a lot of companies we have the similarities of in Asia. We have the similarity of the moment the departmental head exit or left the company, the subordinate normally will not stay long with a new boss coming in. So unlike the American structure, whereby they follow the structure, they don't go by individual relationship. So whereas Asians is very significant. In a environment of running business in China, we talk about another aspect. When we talk about corporate culture, also relationship is very important in China. Okay, so let me take you through more the related guidelines.
I'll stick. This code on your analysis.
I'm sure it's cold.
No,
It's really
I can't concentrate in this weather.
it's too cold. Most of the things you my son's home is not kind of it's also direct. It's freezing. It's almost it's so hot. It's the complete difference.
Okay, so this is a slide to highlight on the differences between PhD and BBA in terms of the emphasis. Traditionally, PhD has a longer history. Has a longer history. It's a pride of most universities. To have the highest level of the what they call the research performance and indication by conferring the highest degree of what we call Doctor of Philosophy in a specialized areas such as IT, such as pure science, such as what they call law and all that. More on the academic aspect, but as the entire global development has gone through over the past century, a lot of what I call research or researchers are financed by private sectors, especially in America. Put it very directly, the purpose of funding is to hope that whatever has been researched, the research findings can be contributed back to those sponsors, and hopefully they can contribute to performance. And because of the keyword of performance, there's a emerging trend of having a so-called more focused doctor, which is known as Doctor of Business Admin. And it was actually originated from Harvard Business School. From Harvard University, they narrowed down the Harvard Business School and they focus more on the DBA. As they also know that those who are pursuing doctor degree or qualifications, they are normally more successful managers or top management, and opportunity costs are very high. And to actually pursue a doctorate in philosophy, it will normally take about 6 or even 7 or 8 years. And the earliest stage of the doctorate students' research, as I told you, it has mostly exceeded 5 years, and the passing rate in UK at one time was only 10%. Only 10%. Yeah, one of the common trend in most university, the passing rate for a doctor of philosophy used to be almost 10-20%, because the interaction will be 10-20% with supervision. The other 80% are supposed to be on your own, meaning to say you are in a very big ocean without knowing which direction until you find some light, dim light along for you to sail towards it. So there's a reason why the emphasis of delivery has changed to reverse it. 80% guided, 20% more on research. So that's how we have the DBA here. So you can see, prepare students to carry out research-based professional practice. That is all related to organization. Yeah? Research theory and methods, discipline, content, change leadership, management, and ethics, and all that. These are some examples. And also nature of final exercise, doctoral study addressing a practical problem. Because a lot of business organization, they are affected because of problems or challenges that they are facing, usually in students' workplace. So that's why we are looking into customization. The moment we customize, that is what we call DBA. Acknowledged as significant by the scholastic and the practical stakeholders. And also doctoral study, proposal description, current situation, desired outcome, and the significance, key stakeholders, background, research plan and methods, implementation and methods. These are what we are going to emphasize on. Criteria for success, project evaluation, and also committee, including scholarly and practical stakeholders. Evaluation criteria for final exercise, intellectual and methodological soundness, success and learning from project quality or project assessment, adherence to intellectual and ethical norms. So a doctoral study report, internet external stakeholders report, professional conference papers, if there's any, will be a bonus. Popular articles, books or book chapters, academic publications. So as compared to the PhD. So what is more important will be the next that I'm going to show you. As mentioned earlier, so we have actually compiled according to the background of our team. The research topics, if we are looking into strategic, HRM, leadership, change, innovation. So until now, we have a few names. I'm going to show your profile and picture shortly. And also strategic management, corporate social responsibility. All these topics are based on the thesis passed by our student, from our alumni. Dr. Ian, I think he taught the subject last month, an Australian professor, and all the names of lecturers. And then strategic marketing, Dr. Shaheen, and also project logistics, we have the lecturer. MIS related, we have it. And also international business marketing, corporate business law. We have professional lawyers, product packaging. These are based on our DBA students' research. In fact, we are covering more than one country. Even in Indochina, we have DBA students. So some of these theses are actually done by them from Yangon, and some could be from Cambodia. So we have many centers other than Malaysia. Economics, corporate and business and public policy. So name of lecturer. Yeah. So this will be a quick glance. I hope once it's properly edited, it will be uploaded on the portal. So at least you have a snapshot of our strength of faculty. And even though you don't see them face to face all the time, but all these are linked by the computer network, so we can easily reach them. And some of them will even appear to be the examiner during your Viva session. Let's see. Okay, so you can actually later on glance through. So each of the lecture we have all the historical research records. Professor Dr. Chan. He used to be one of the examiners during the Viva Oral Defense. He's an Australian graduate. This is Dr. Ian, as I mentioned, an Australian professor, but currently residing in Malaysia. So you will see him quite often in teaching. And also Dr. Ami from Singapore University. He was also in Australia. Most of them, they were educated in Australia, taught in the university before retirement. They are mostly retired, but still carry on with their research and teaching. This is even better than the young professor. And many of them, they were examiners, even at Singapore University. So you have that advantage. Dr. Bala is another one who used to be attached to the Monash University, Australia, for more than 10 years, dean or head of the school. And then after his retirement, he served in one of the Malaysian bank as a director. So we have not only academic, but also corporate background, which will be very useful. And over the past 25 years, they successfully supervised 50 doctorate candidates from various universities. So the track record. Also is what we call the advisor to the Institute of Bankers in Malaysia. Okay, this Dr. Prabha, who is actually a lawyer by profession, and he had a BBA from University of South Australia. Currently also lecturing as a senior lecturer, and also he is running his textile business with India. So he's also in the trading of textiles. So we are not only bringing in someone who is qualified, who has a legal background, but also have the business background. And he will likely to be also one of the examiner in Viva Oral Defense. This Dr. Pravin, who is currently attached to the branch campus of Hero Ward University in Malaysia, the branch campus. His specialization was in green marketing, green design, green marketing, and so on and so forth, and written a number of books and published a number of papers. He is now heading the postgraduate school of Hero Ward University, the Malaysian branch. This is an author, Dr. Barbara, who is an author. She has published a lot of books in management study, and her knowledge is, or specialization is more on knowledge management. Yeah. And he also served in the Malaysian Institute of Management for 19 years and supervised successfully many candidates at the doctorate level. Yeah. Next, we have this Dr. Paul. Yes. So you did receive. So he is a man with multinational perspectives. Being a Singaporean, he actually has a PR in Canada and served in Korea many years, and also teaching in many countries, including Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Korea. So with this kind of exposure, yeah, he has been engaged by the Malaysian Nissan car, what do you call, company as a so-called this customer relationship management consultant, because Nissan car has a history of more than 50 years, and now they are looking into how to improve their marketing impact and penetration. So they are looking into the next generation of the car user. So his task as a so-called consultant to this customer relation management was to look into the database, and hopefully after the grandparents use Nissan, they will find a way to invite the next generation, the son or daughter, to consider Nissan. Now the grandson or granddaughter to consider using Nissan car. So they go by the generation approach. So he has been engaged or appointed to handle the task. Because there's one way to cut your marketing cost. Instead of opening new market, you go by the generation, provided the data are well kept. Meaning to say, the prospect that they have counsel or closed, they have to generate after 10 years to get back to them. How do you find Nissan? Are you still using Nissan? If it's good, what about your family members in the next generation to consider Nissan? So this Dr. Mason Safari, who is specializing in finance, including stock markets and all that. He's also a consultant, also specializing in what they call Islamic banking. Islamic banking. And this Dr. Mitra will be teaching you this weekend. She is also specializing in econ finance. Is a financial manager and researcher come lecturer. Dr. Albert is also specializing in banking finance, a Malaysian but currently residing in Vancouver. He has a PR, so normally he'll be back here once a year towards the end of the year. So we have actually engaged him to handle subject related to finance. Now, this Dr. Tan served in the Singapore University, and he is specializing on MIS. So we don't have many of those specialized in IT. So he's the one, the information management system. And this Chen, who is actually an architect, he has actually helped one of the biggest shopping mall. If you happen to visit Mid Valley, you know Mid Valley well. Have you heard about there's a project behind Mid Valley known as Garden?
Garden. Oh, yes.
The extension of Mid Valley is a garden. He was a mastermind to design the concept of garden right from day one, when the land was still empty. So he's a key person, developed it over 5 years, 5-year project. So to make it very green and successful. So it's a cheap consultant in that project. So that's why I'm saying that we are not getting someone qualified, but they have proven track record. And it's only from their experience gained from those track record, they can ensure our students are good or top performers in the future. So the execution and the operations are very important. This Dr. Primala is more on the innovation and entrepreneurship. She has completed her thesis from Southern Cross University using the structural equation modeling, AMOS. So her thesis was completed using that approach. This Dr. Lau, who is young, is about, I think, mid-30, who took about almost 6-7 years to complete his PhD last month. So more on finance. Very young doctor, but 6-7 years. I need a lot of patience. This Dr. Iham Sentosa is an expert. The picture shown that he's young, but it was taken about 6 years ago. Now he's a full professor from a university and an examiner, and his strength is more on structural equation modeling. He has written a lot of books. So he is a key person in charge of quantitative methods later on. When it comes to your data, which statistical instrument to use, so he will be the chief. And in the final Viva Order Defense, he'll be invited to sit in as an assessor to your quantitative methods. Yeah. And this Dr. Harshad, who will be conducting the workshop in May. Also similar to that, but he is more specialized in the PLS, partially square. Also structural equation modeling, but he used a partially square method. And he explained to you the difference and the differences between AMOS and this PLS. Also just completed his doctorate program after 6 years from the the Northern University of Malaysia. We are engaging them partly because of their the learning experience that they've gone through. This doctor will not be teaching you because he has only an MBA, but he's a medical doctor. And currently pursuing his doctorate. In fact, the remaining list, we have another 20. Those will be the lecture for teaching master program. So the DBA will be cut off from that. So at least to give you some idea. So now Q&A.
So for the list of lectures, are we able to still contact even the ones that do the master's program?
Which one?
Because you have that list of DBA professors, but you have another list of masters.
We have a lot.
Yes, you have a lot more people here.
Yeah. Even he is a consultant to Nokia. He's a Finland citizen, but because of his doctorate is not done, so we don't use them to teach master doctorate program. But they'll be teaching MBA.
But can you consult them? They don't have to.
Yes. They'll be the subject lecturer.
Okay.
They will not be the main because by the NQ guideline, the main must have the doctorate, but the subject, because they are very specialized. You know, this gentleman who came from a top university in Helsinki, is not a Malaysian. He used to fly in to teach some classes, Elton University. And you know Nokia, the collapse of Nokia acquired by this, Microsoft, the entire economy in Finland was affected because 25% of their income are depending on Nokia. And a lot of senior managers were retrenched. So the Finland government actually came up with a plan to actually recruit them and put them in this university under entrepreneurship transformation program to fund them for 6 months to undergo the transformation program. So that after 6 months of training, when they have the entrepreneurial skill, they will source fund from the Finland government to start off their business or businesses. So there'll be a lot of opportunity you are able to access to him. You can link to someone from Finland and have your business partnership established. So he has the exposure. Of course, the first 1 or 2 months, the participants were very demoralized because some of them served in Nokia for more than 20 years. And suddenly they have to change their lifestyle to think of how to start the business on their own. So the courage and all that. So he has gone through that stage. So
so you mean currently you can actually have a contact in Finland easily?
Yes.
A business partner through him.
Yes. He wanted to develop a so-called entrepreneurship project here to link those trained managers from Finland to be in Malaysia or in Africa so that you all can have a joint venture. If we have the inclination, I can link you up.
Yes, I want that.
Yeah, you just feel free to email, I'll link you up.
Okay, sure.
I'm actually arranging him to come to Malaysia. Except because we have been surveying, but no student have the courage. I want to be employed, I don't want to start my own business. So I can't find any takers. Until today, you're the first one.
Yes.
I've been publicizing for him. You see, I wanted to come because He used to bring a lot of students from Finland, Europe to study in Malaysia 20 years ago. Until because of the Nokia incident, so he stayed back for some years to help. Now it's more or less stabilized, so that's why he wanted to travel back. And this professor is also what we call a project. He specializes in project management. He hasn't completed his doctorate yet, but having a master from Paris before. So we have classes for him to teach, but at the master level. Anything on the SME, small medium enterprise. So you can always get in touch with him. Yeah. And Miss Iwan, a Malaysian, she was actually from a factory environment. Also currently teaching MBA, more on marketing. That's right. And this Mr. Joe was a lecturer attached to bank, but now he's with one of the largest cocoa production house in Malaysia. He's a chief financial controller now with the cocoa what we call factory in Malaysia. So if you are interested in any trade related to cocoa production. Yeah. Chocolate, actually chocolate.
Do you have a lot of beans here?
Huh?
Cocoa beans here?
I do not know where did they source, but they source it from overseas. So if you have any supply, you can talk to
Ghana.
him. Yeah, talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, his company made a lot of profit last year because of the have an advanced ordering of cocoa some years ago at lower price.
Okay.
With the raw material price increase, they make a lot of profit. And according to him, last year they are very utilized. So now they have to buy expensive cocoa. If you have good offer, talk to him. You can propose to the boss to order from Ghana and other countries.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so all these are very resourceful personnel. We don't look at just learning, but the business angle.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if you're able to.
He is a HR consultant. He's now attached to our Malaysian Institute of Human Resource Management. Anything to do with human resource project, you want him to be a trainer in Ghana, by all means. My list of lecturers are all above 50 years old. They are not young. So, but then they are very resourceful in a sense. Their position can help to influence the management's decision. He is one of the youngest, but also about 40 years. More on marketing. This Malaysian, also he has, I think, 4 or 5 master's degree. Semi-retired. He is, I think, pursuing his doctorate. All these are master degrees. Wasan is a chartered accountant. Our full-time lecturer here is a chartered accountant. Dave is also one of the marketing lecturers. Gafa, a Malaysian, but educated in US. He's currently teaching most of the BBA classes. These are IT. She was an Intel branch manager. Looks young because the photo was taken 5 years ago. These are Malaysian IT. She was with one of the, I think, IBM before. IBM. But we use her to teach most of the IT related subjects. Yes?
She looks very young. Is that the one who saw it?
Maybe.
Yes.
He's from Hong Kong, but now in Indo-China. Many years spent in US, worked in US before, coming back to Asia. So he is also a chartered accountant, MBA, with MBA, but also one of the senior DBA students. He's going to complete the same DBA.
I saw his face on the the website.
Yeah. Our staff, our full-time staff, you can see them all in the register.
I saw this one.
She's
the one who came.
Yeah.
So those are the profile, but as I said, this is not the exhaustive list. We are still updating month by month. So at least to give you an overall idea of who are the people behind and the choices of the area of specialization. So I think generally I've covered most of the important areas.
So the timetable for this, send it to us.
Megan is sorting out.
It out.
We are working out maybe in 1 or 2 weeks' time to have a full list of the schedule. so that we work on that. And also, since all of you are new, I may, if I can get your email and you feel that it's useful, I can actually email to you in advance. It should be very useful because there's one more.
I think our main contact, the one in charge of the DBA, has our email address.
I'll get it from her. Maybe after class, I'll email this to you. This is a set of today is 24. Yeah. So it's a very important set of research methodology slides. This will be normally for the senior student, but I just take you for a quick glance over the areas of focus that you need to write and fill this form at the initial stage while drafting the proposal. But talk about research and all that, how to go about research on the so-called cause and effect, and also how to identify the research problem from the what we call independent and dependent variable. All this we need time to explain, but what I'm more concerned about will be to actually highlight to you. Hopefully, it will be helpful in your learning process. Yes. Slide number 28. We have actually 3 important e-resources. Quizia. I've also provided the password ID. You can just log in and test it out. There will be about 80 over 1,000 e-journals. Yeah. This is a UK-based e-resource where you can only get some of the good articles or good journals, more on management, and you can also publish your paper. You can publish your paper. If you are interested, later on we have a session on that. Because I have a number of students who has more or less reaching the final stage of editing their papers for publication. And this will be our Malaysian National Library e-resource, but since we are a member, so student registered here, we are allowed to access to the fcohost.com, at least 150,000 e-journals, textbook or newspaper. And so we have specialized lessons to help students. Even you have 2 days of classes, weekday or the subsequent weekend, you actually can ask for appointment to come by. We will guide you on how to use this effectively to help you in the drafting of your assignment. Yeah, and the rest are actually open source. You know, the following are all open source, no need password. There are so many. In fact, you see that IMF, World Bank, ideas, SMA, all this you can actually get it free of charge. CIA. So we have the open source. Yeah, and all those are teaching staff. We will come back later on, but next few slides that I need to bring up to your attention. See, when you quote reference or references, this is what normally we follow, more or less. Yeah, we talk about when we come to the research plagiarism. You are going to scan and check. These are the free software. Because if you were to subscribe 30-in software, it will cost you about $6,000 US. So we have the free software you can actually use to scan your book, which is acceptable for the DBA. So by all means, test it out. Yeah. And also the workshop in May by our professor. Yeah. So he will be actually teaching students how to use this open source of software. You don't even have to invest. He will guide you the workshop on how to use the software to crunch your data. So you have this.
Yes, you can.
When you have your email confirmed, then we will send it across. So, question
so you get the email from Megan?
I will get from Megan and direct to you in an hour's time. Yeah.
I was going to ask a question, but it's outside this one. I read from the rules that international students cannot work.
Huh?
I read from the rules
Oh.
that international students cannot work in Malaysia.
Yes and no. The answer is yes and no.
Because I'm trying to work. I want to work.
Normally, in a so-called white-collar job, is okay, but the blue-collar, then we have to be a bit more careful. Certain work is not suitable, certain work is suitable. So we need to know your background, and also the company must have the understanding of your constraint, because what if suddenly they ask you to work on shift on weekend, and you will affect your study. So that's why there must be some learning process between the employer and student. For your information, some of our MBA lecturers, we are also a student from another college before, but now they have all graduated already. So there are a lot of postgraduate students, they even teach elsewhere. Teaching is another area. Or they apply for a tutor position. So it's okay. As long as you do things in a legal manner, not in an illegal manner. That's right. The reason why there's a statement is some of them they are involved in some of the what you call illegal activities, The earlier stage, they are caught involved in drugs and all that. So it's very sensitive.
I get it. I'm relieved now.
And some of them they work throughout midnight. There's a shopping mall here, one Utama.
Yes,
a lot of eatery restaurant over the weekend. The business are very good on Saturday, Sunday, and they cannot find local. So a lot of foreigners to work, and they are paid double or triple. Because the local will not want. So that's why it depends on how smart you look into the area of needs where the income is double, triple. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go around Saturday midnight. You can see some restaurants still open, and all the staff are not local.
Okay.
I just give you some tips.
Yeah.
But I can really do this. Local person and then
yes.
Only the parking. It's okay to just park here, or because I park.
When are you parking your car? You have to pay by the meter, I think.
Yes, I pay by the meter, but I just wanted to know whether there's any restriction. I can just park anywhere.
No, as long as a parking lot, you pay for the space, it's fine. Except when you come for your classes on Sunday. In front and the back of this building, there will be those hawker stores set up from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. So normally Sunday afternoon before 3, we will go around and remind students to park away. Park away from the 2 rows parallel to the building.
Okay, but I can park in the car park.
The others then inside is okay, but not exactly in front of the building or exactly behind.
No,
because we have cases whereby students' car will block. They can only leave this place after 10 p.m.
Yes.
And one of them was almost emotional because the husband will arrive at 7 p.m. She needs to pick him up, and she can't use a car. Finally, she had to charter either a taxi or Uber.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then the library here.
Library, you can go through Yun or Megan. We can get the key for you.
Okay.
But to be very frank, other than the sample thesis and all that, majority of our students prefer the ebook.
Yes,
because it's more up to date. Every few months they have updated version.
And you can access
a lot.
Anyway.
And yes, 24 hours, 7 days. Yeah. And those who are serious, normally they came back with a complaint, a common complaint. Sir, too much to read. I don't have so much time. That's very healthy. Normally we'll be very happy to hear that complaint. Those who never complain are the ones who have not read.
What if the person doesn't like complaining?
I mean, it's a happy problem. You tell them. You see, if you compare to our time, we don't even have the e-library. Everything you have to order from overseas, and you take 3 months before the stuff arrives. And what Are we
Yeah, you
supposed
don't
to
have
do?
the time.
The waiting time was wasted.
No, I think it's
Now it's so convenient.
with technology now. It's really,
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes, wonderful.
And
There's
the
no
room,
excuse.
yeah, and the room temperature, isn't it with this every time?
What's that?
Oh,
The room
the
temperature.
room.
It looks like it's very cold.
Oh, cold.
Is that how it's going to be like every time?
Weekend will not, because weekend we don't have the centralized aircon. We use the what they call the split unit aircon where we adjust.
Okay,
So you are safe in a sense because your classes will be held on Saturday, Sunday.
Perfect.
You'll be more balanced.
Perfect.
But having said that, over weekdays, when you walk out from the room here, the building here, then you will appreciate.
Yes.
You'll be very hot outside,
Yes.
extremely hot. That is beyond our control.
Yeah. You can't control the one outside.
Nature.
This is really cold. But so it cannot be controlled with central. It cannot be controlled.
And not say do it
Normally we have
centrally,
to
but
ask them to
people-
adjust, or we open the door. That's why the glass door was open, so that at least the cold air will go off, and with the heat coming in to balance out. You know, this initially I opened up just to let the air to be regulated.
So the lectures will be held here. So Saturday.
No, another room, because here we don't have the split unit, but the other room A3 there we have split unit aircon. At the same time, there's a video conferencing unit, which we have a group of DBA students in Johor Bahru, which is about 400 kilometers down south, next to Singapore. So you see another 10 students there, you can interact. Ask them about Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, make full use of that
Okay.
interaction.
Yeah, because I was told since I had said I'll be going back home in August.
We hope
for
the lecturer
holiday.
will have an ice breaking session so that you can actually expose yourself to have an exchange of information. Talking about your country and those environment in Singapore. All right.
Okay, I think we'll.
So I will leave an email here. If you have anything else, you can give me the details so I can link it up to the Cocoa Factory Financial Controller Principal at Ventisa. EDU, yeah, EDU. M1. Okay. Got it?
Yes.
So it's a capital P, but the M is
Which one?
small p. Capital P.
Small.
Oh,
All these
everything
are
is small.
I think I have a business card. So it's that.
Yes, good.
I don't have a business card.
Let's watch this.
Off the.
Oh, from where you?
No, I got it from him. And I
Oh,
came-
you have his business card.
There is
so the same thing here, right? Same thing.
Yes, same. There will be another student joining your class from Iran. I think she has just arrived yesterday night. So you will see someone new in your class, in your same cohort. We even have DBA students, as I mentioned, from Russia, Middle East, African countries, yes, and also Vietnam, Maldives.
Okay.
Is coming from different part of the world. So you should establish your network.
Yes.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
It's good for you to start writing a CV so that we understand your profile. When come to your research selection or proposal, we can actually try to remind you to leverage on your past work experience, like your industry, the position you've been holding for years, the type of business you're running, so that we want something to be very relevant. Yeah. There's one they call corporate or work-based DBA, but not from this university, by some UK university, like Middlesex. The entire DBA is developed from the environment of each manager's company.
Okay.
So every day, whatever you've done are being incorporated into your research. So after 2 or 3 years, you develop into a thesis. The UK university has that.
But that would be directly, what do you call it? It means that you are highly forced to stick to your
in our case, we are not 100%, but we want you to actually link it to the issues or problem and take it off from there.
I get it. Okay.
Such as, for example, in Malaysia, we have the GST, goods and service tax imposed last year, 6%. So there are a lot of students chosen their research area into that, the impact of GST. Yeah, such as companies try to cut costs because your rental, everything increased by 6%.
Yes.
So the only thing is they try to recruit 6% less new workforce. Meaning the same staff, we have more work, multitasking. Even some of the consumer, one of our MBA students here, she wrote her thesis by looking into the AIG, the company, the insurance company from America. And last year, they lost 30% of their sales. 30% of the sales dropped. Why? And her research shown that majority of the 30%, they either reduce the premium for insurance their vehicle, and according to her, 10% of those customers have even chosen not to insure at all. Meaning to say they're driving car without any license, any permit. They rather took a bold step of not having to pay the 6%, but without, of course, it's illegal, but it's in her research. It's so bad, the impact. And also last year, because of the currency, our currency, 2 factors affecting Malaysia.